Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pilot episode of the PacRim Studio. So I am with Art De La Rosa and Noel Pascual. Say
Hello.
hi.
Hello.
What's up, Mike?
So today we're gonna talk about, of course, the NBA. And as you know, our hometown Lakers have retooled, have revamped the roster.
Yep.
So, what do you guys think about the additions? So, I'm gonna mention some additions that are probably familiar to you, like Marc Gasol.
I think we're going to be champions again.
Back to back, huh?
Back to
Okay.
back, maybe
Since I am in a different part of the spectrum, I will jump to it. Are you sure you guys would like to make that conclusion? But the Lakers are going to be champions. Remember
Well, as a Laker fan, and I know Art is speaking as a Laker fan, of course, that is the expectation. But you never know. I mean, it's too early. You never know what's going to happen in the season. COVID is still around, injuries. But they do look like the team to beat based on the moves that they made. So you mentioned Marc Gasol, but Paul Gasol's there's even talk that Paul Gasol might join. I think that's it's more just for just to be able to play with his brother as opposed to being really a contributor. But I think Marc Gasol maybe 3-4 years ago was considered one of the best centers. So I think in general the Lakers got younger and better, in my opinion. So I think in general it's good.
Mm-hmm. But looking at the roster right now, you got probably 4 guys above 35, above or way in their 30s. Like, of course, LeBron James, Marc Gasol,
Yes.
Jared Dudley.
That's why I think it's guaranteed they have like veteran players. That's why I know it's guaranteed at least back to back, probably 3-peat before LeBron retires.
Well, I hope. Well, I don't know if you guys heard that LeBron just signed a contract. So the 3-peat, is possible, but we'll see. I mean, it's really early. It looks good. I'm gonna say they're not the favorite. I think coming in, they're probably going to be the favorite. Coming in. So, but
they're not the favorite,
games, right? Huh?
They're not the favorite.
They are. No, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
they are actually favored to win the West and go all the way.
Yes.
But how about the younger guys like Dennis Schroder, and you got Wesley Matthews. Of course, he's way past his prime now, about 34, as far as I'm concerned. And of course, we got a steal there from the Clippers, Montrezl.
Yes, Harrell. So with Schroder, I think I just read somewhere where he wants to start. And I think, they can do that. I think they can put him in the starting position. I think he'll be good. He's very active. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He can shoot it, but he can score. So I think it'll be a good addition. And then you mentioned Wes Matthews. Yeah, he's probably going to come off the bench, right? One of those 3-point specialists, defensive specialists type of person.
One of those Danny Green types.
Yes. So that's what I think his role is going to be. Art, how about you?
Yeah, well, I think so. Like like these Schroder, the younger guys. These are good. I think, of course, with these new players, it's gonna take a little more time maybe for them to like gel together. Hopefully, they do that. They find their chemistry before, during these exhibition games before the season really starts. But I think, I don't think that, they're not gonna have any problems with that.
Yeah, I think to that point, I was surprised. This year when the Lakers won, basically it was a different team from last year, and they gelled like really easily. And I think part of that is LeBron. You know, LeBron's mentality, like he likes to pass. He's more a team oriented, and he was even willing to give AD like the number 23. You know, so I think that helps a lot in the camaraderie, the chemistry, and I think LeBron kind of realizes too. I think because he's more of a cerebral player as well. I think he realizes that, you know, he's on the tail end of his career, and it's probably better now to just, you know, because passing to AD, right? He had the most assists ever in his career. He never led the league in assists. So I think he's kind of realizing that, and he's more willing to kind of give up a little bit to gain a lot as a team. So I think that's what helps.
Yeah. And that
so just to give you guys an idea of how the next season would look like. So the group player workout will begin on December 6th, which is very soon. It's just right around the corner. And preseason games will start on December 11th up to the 19th. And probably they would get a 2 or 3 day respite, and they would start on December 22.
Yeah.
That's the first day of the regular season. And around the corner, which is the All-Star break, which is normally happens on February, now will start on March 5 until the 10th.
Yeah.
And of course, the second half of the season would definitely kick on March 11th.
But they're still gonna have that full 82 games, right?
Actually, 72 games.
That's 72 games.
It's minus 10. Yeah. 72
minus
games.
Because I think they want to finish before the Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, under 2021. Yeah, in Tokyo.
They don't want to be playing while the Olympics is on. They don't want to compete with the Olympics as far as TV ratings. But interestingly enough, what's kind of funny is they already gave out the schedule for the preseason, and then they gave for the regular season. They've only given out the Christmas Day game. So it's funny they jumped ahead to the Christmas Day game before even doing like the first few games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are they gonna start out with like like a bubble, in a bubble like how they did during the playoffs?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not. So it's gonna be funny because it's gonna be like some teams, depending on where they are, will have no fans, and I can imagine, right? Some teams will have some fans. So like here in California, as it is right now, they're probably can't have fans. But in Texas, they can probably have fans, or like in Florida, they can probably have some fans.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting because obviously the LA teams and the California teams won't really have a home court advantage, so to speak, in that sense, right? So
cool. All right, that's good to know.
So the Christmas Day games. Moving on with the Christmas Day games, it's going to be the Pelicans versus the Heat, and of course the Lakers would go up against Dallas. On that day.
Yeah.
So, and of course, my team, Golden State, will go up against
you're supposed
Giannis
to
and his squad.
You're in the wrong city, Mike.
I'm in the wrong city.
This is That's okay.
No, having said that I'm a Laker fan, and you just said you're a Golden State fan, and Art is also a Laker fan, but I still feel for Klay Thompson. That was a devastating injury. I mean, you got 2 years now that he's not going to play.
Yes, so, 2 years now that he's out of it.
Yeah. And so I think just because of that, because before that happened, people were like high on Golden State, but after that happened, it kind of, and obviously, he's a great player, so the enthusiasm for Golden State kind of went down after that. But having said that, what do you think about Wiseman, the new player that they picked? Do you think he's gonna gel with the team?
James Wiseman is actually for now for me as it's like a small project. He's not going to be in the starting five right away. he still have a lot of work to do. So he
Okay.
still needs to know the schemes of the Golden State Warriors at this point. So
Mhm.
I'm most likely Kevon Looney would start.
Mm.
Pascal, maybe Oubre and Wiggins on the wings, and definitely Curry.
Mhm.
But James Wiseman is a good addition because they had to be athletic on that part of the ball, you know.
Mhm.
But they can use him primarily on defense. His offense needs a lot of work,
Mm.
so or maybe a little polish on the offensive end, but he'll do fine, I think.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah,
Do you
that
think,
was a good pick.
do you think they'll put him as a 6-man or not a 6-man?
Maybe the seventh,
7. Okay.
or sixth or seventh. But how about
I think
Because you still have Draymond Green, right? I mean,
they
Draymond.
still have Draymond Green. He can either come off the bench or be on the starting five. But you know, at this point in his career, they might pressure him to do more offense
Hmm.
rather than
Are they gonna be a?
defense.
You think they're gonna be a contender though, like for this
Contender,
year?
no.
Or
Maybe
No, not yet.
they'll be in the top 4 in the playoffs, but not a contender.
playoffs.
I mean that scoring load on Steph Curry might be too much, but you know who knows? He might take up the challenge and all of a sudden score 40 all night.
Mhm.
But you know, it's just a matter of being healthy throughout the season.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, the defense also is gonna because Klay Thompson, a lot of people, don't realize he's actually one of the better defenders. So it's not that he's a pure scorer, but he's also one of the better defenders too. So they actually lost defense as well. So I think that also is gonna have to be a factor. I don't know how their defense will look with the new lineup.
Yeah. In the West, actually, in the West, who do you think would be the better challenger for the Los Angeles Lakers?
I would
don't know.
say
It's a wide open race in the West. It's really
I think
really
it's
stacked
No longer
with talent.
the Clippers though, for sure.
No, even though the Clippers went down, I mean, they lost Trez. I think their roster is not as good. They lost the coach, whether that's good or bad. But I think it depending on Kawhi and Paul George, because they have those two. I think they're still there. But the other team too is obviously Denver, the team that they lost to. So it'll be interesting to see how they play on Christmas Day because they're playing each other. So I think those two probably will be like second and third.
Not Dallas, huh? Not Dallas.
Well, it depends. I think because Dallas, I think depending on Kristaps Porzingis, because he's not starting right now.
Yeah,
He's not playing.
yeah, he's not.
So I think
Who
it
knows?
depends on him because Luka, he's as great as he is and as young as he is. I don't think he can do it by himself.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. If Kristaps can play the whole year, then I would put Dallas. Yes, then it would be those three teams: Dallas,
You would.
Clippers, and Denver would be like the top three, right below the Lakers. For me,
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump to the East. Let's jump over to the East and talk about one particular player. Probably our homegrown player, right? In the Los Angeles area. LaMelo Ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball. So, I'm just going to throw it out there. What do you think? Is he going to flourish? Is he going to bust? So this brother is actually not a bust, not yet. But, not as expected.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is he's going to a team that's obviously not that good, and they don't have a good history. Charlotte, Michael, they're more known for being owned by Michael.
Yeah, but he's gonna sell a lot of tickets.
No, he is. So, I
It's good
think
for business.
I think he will sell a lot of tickets. I think he'll do well. And he's considered more like showman, like passing, right? But he's not a great shooter or anything. He's more like he drives passing, but his defense also is not really, he's not really known for defense. So it's going to be hard. I don't think Charlotte will make the playoffs on the East, but I think, like you said, he's going to bring tickets and they're going to improve. But whether they become a playoff team, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about them giving him the reins. Okay, here's the ball. Take us somewhere.
Yeah.
Take charge. I don't know.
Yeah. What I'm waiting for is LeVar Ball playing Michael Jordan 1-on-1 because he said he could.
Yeah, that's still
Right.
Yeah. It might be an exhibition game in the playoffs, right?
It's kind of like Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones Jr., right? It's gonna go 9 rounds.
And they'll call it a tie. Good thing basketball, there's no tie.
Last shot wins, they're gonna say.
So this program is actually sponsored by Top Digital Studios, a digital marketing agency that does web design and video production, digital production that's hosting this show for us, which is also Art's brother. So how about in the East? I hope you guys watch the East, but we should definitely not ignore if the Los Angeles Lakers would like to repeat and probably go beyond after that, make a three-peat. That's a conference that's wide open. Even though the Heat won the series last year, who do you think would be the threat in the East for the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, for me, it depends. It depends a lot on how KD and Kyrie come back. If they come back like close to their form, and if Kyrie doesn't disrupt like what he did in Boston, if he doesn't do that, right, then I think them along with Milwaukee and maybe even Philadelphia is kind of retooled now with the new coach and everything. I think, and then you can also say Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
But I would go with Brooklyn if Brooklyn and Bill Bucks, but only if KD is back to close to where he was.
You think really Brooklyn can puncture the barrier now? They could make.
Well, like I said, it depends on KD because KD, before he got injured and when LeBron wasn't playing, he was widely considered the best player, right? So I think if he can come back to that, and again, a lot of it depends on Kyrie and KD, how they play together, and Kyrie doesn't mess up the system. Because I think without Kyrie and KD, they were actually a pretty good team. I mean, not a championship team or a playoff team, but they were actually pretty good. It's kind of like when Boston was a good team without Kyrie, and then Kyrie came and kind of ruined it. So that's the only thing I'm kind of worried about. And the same thing with the Clippers. When the Clippers, before they had Kawhi and PG-13, they were actually pretty good and scrappy, right? So that's how I'm kind of looking at this Brooklyn team. They're good without them, but if they come back at almost the top level where they were playing before, then I think they can be like either 1 or 2 in the East, because the East is wide open.
It's wide open.
Yeah,
it's definitely
that's why I say that. So
yeah, actually Boston is making more moves.
Yeah, but with Boston, Kemba's out too. So Kemba's not playing in the beginning. So that's why for me I hesitate a little bit because the injuries.
Yeah, Philadelphia's retooling too.
Yeah, Philadelphia's retooling. If Philadelphia depends a lot on Embiid because he hasn't even played a whole year. I don't think he's played like all regular games. So a lot depends on his health for me.
Because Miami too is still recovering from injury suffered from last year's finals.
Yeah.
This year's finals. So that too is probably a stumbling block for Miami in probably the first few games.
Yeah, and Miami, it's funny how we don't even mention them and they were in the finals. But I think it's part of it is they kind of, I don't want to say they got lucky, but the bubble situation, I think kind of helped them, right?
Yeah, about the bubble situation.
Because there's
It's
no
not for everybody.
fans, right? There's not as much, the home team. There's not as much pressure for the young.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't work for everybody, but it did work for both teams in the finals.
Yeah, no, but I think certain teams benefit more from the bubble than other teams. I think the teams that are younger, not as good, benefit more because it's like a neutral environment. There's no fans. The superstars, it doesn't matter where they play, but the ones that have less superstars, I think it benefits them more because it's like you're just playing in a pickup game or you're playing in a rec league. So it's
Less
not
pressure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just there in the bubble, no distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah. No clubs, no bars, no fancy restaurants. Just your mini lunchbox being delivered into your room, right?
Yeah. Unless you go out of the bubble and you get some chicken from,
No, that would be a violation, but that would be fun. So other than the NBA, what probably the other curious thing that I was watching the other day, which is the Mike Tyson versus Jones fight.
Yeah.
Did anybody was curious about the fight?
Well, I think a lot of people were like worried about like their health too. Stephen A. Like he was commentating like before the game, like how he's worried for Roy Jones, because Tyson still can hit. But I was surprised, like it was called a draw, like at the end. A lot of people thought like Mike Tyson won that fight, but
Tyson can still hit, huh?
yeah, he can still hit.
Yeah, he looked good on the training videos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's something that we should have, seen. It's a match. It's a fight that something that we wish we saw like during their prime. Like when Jones was still, much quicker, and yeah.
But I think in their prime, we would have never seen it because I think they're in different weight classes, right? Because Mike is a heavyweight and Roy Jones was in a heavyweight. So I don't think we would.
It was like in the light heavyweight.
Yeah. Unless Roy Jones does what Pacquiao does, right? He moves to different weight. So, but yeah.
I think he did try that, going up like in the lighter, light heavyweight. And he was challenging Tyson back then, but it just didn't happen.
And I'm just wondering why they even fought. And the first thing that comes to mind is maybe they need money, right? Because I mean, if you're that age, why would you wanna?
Maybe it's something that they still want to prove, like that they can still, fight. Just hopefully it doesn't become a trend in the future where we see Mayweather and Pacquiao fight like in
the bubble, right? Or probably them doing some UFC, right? Ultimate fighting.
And it wasn't really a real fight, right? Because they said it was. They basically labeled it like an exhibition, so they don't want people to get their hopes up, right?
Was it a benefit fight for something, right?
I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure if it was a benefit, but I know.
I'm sure it's benefited themselves. So.
Most likely.
Well, I heard what he made, was it $54 million? I think. Tyson.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good for a comeback, like an exhibition fight.
Well, if they give me $54 million, I'll go in there.
I know, right?
Yeah, I go right here. Boom. Okay. I'm out. It's over.
Got you right. I know, right?
You know what? You know what's funny is not that fight, but I know you guys probably heard of the other fight where Nate Robinson, he's a former basketball player.
Yeah.
For him. Yeah. And he's actually has Filipino blood. His great grandfather is Filipino. So anyway, so he got knocked out. So I was so embarrassed. That was so embarrassing.
He didn't get the Pacquiao blood in
You
him.
didn't get the Pacquiao gene. What's funny is they were showing him on the canvas, right? Like he's lying down on the canvas, and then you know how they have the NBA logo with Jerry West.
Yeah.
So they put the NBA logo around him, and he's like knocked out on the floor.
So there was a meme about that.
Yeah, that was a meme.
Good thing you told me about it now. I'm gonna look for it later on the internet.
I was like laughing. I guess now we shouldn't advertise or say he's has Filipino blood because of that, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think like before the game, he was saying that how good of an athlete he is. I'm sure he is, but like boxing, it takes more than like being in shape. Like being strong. That's why they call it the sweet science. You don't have to be like the best, the strongest, to win that fight. And it's just caught him like.
It's just technique,
Well,
right?
I don't
It's just a
doubt
matter of technique. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't doubt the fact that he said he's a great athlete because he's 5'7" or 5'8", and he can dunk, and he won the
He can
dunk.
dunk. And
So,
he says he works out every day, like for a couple hours. Yeah.
But like you said, it's different, right? Boxing is different. Once you
that boxing is different.
that's a different story.
That's a legit full contact sport there.
Yeah. You get hit. That's it. Like all your.
Okay, well, let's discuss your favorite segment of the day. So since we got 5 or 8 more minutes to go,
Oh, okay.
let's discuss your favorite segment. Your favorite company, college football and college basketball. So what do you have?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is you mentioned college football. Right now, there's this bias towards the Pac-12. I know that the Pac-12 just started really late and they don't have that many games. But to give you an idea, so you guys know I graduated from USC, so obviously I'm a little bit biased towards USC. But USC, right, which is traditionally football school, is ranked behind Coastal Carolina. So,
Oh really?
so Coastal Carolina. So anyway, so that's kind of with the college football. But you mentioned college basketball. So college basketball, USC is they just started. They're actually doing pretty good. But kind of in line with the Filipino theme, there's actually a lot more Fil-Am players in the college ranks now. So the best player out of Arizona State, where Jordan,
They're representing now.
yeah, and they're representing. Yeah, so remember we just talked about Nate Robinson when he used to play for Washington. It wasn't like advertised, or not too many people knew that he was half Filipino or part Filipino. But now these players are actually bringing it out and saying it, like Jordan Clarkson in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? So they actually bring it out and mention it. So the best player on Arizona State, he's a senior, is Remy Martin. I'm sure you guys know the name Remy Martin, right? Because if you drink, you know what Remy.
I know the cognac. Yeah, I know the cognac.
But he's their best player, and he's half Filipino. And then there's this Duke player, a female player, Vanessa Jesus, right? And then of course the Virginia, they won the championship last year. Their point guard, Kihei Clark, is Filipino from. So that'll be interesting to see the college, because a lot of it's been affected with the one and done players, right? A lot of there's more one and done players, but who looks good right now is Gonzaga. Gonzaga looks like it's like a pro team right now compared to the other teams.
Yeah, I heard your son Oscar raving about Gonzaga. Even Mac De Hoya is raving about Gonzaga being that kind of a team.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too, because basketball is mainly like black dominated, right? Well, the best player on Gonzaga is this big white guy, and he can dunk, and so that's kind of like interesting in a sense that their best players is a big white player. right? Because usually you it's normally.
Oh, we can even throw in for our friends from Ateneo named Kai Sotto.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he's also projected to make it.
yeah.
Hopefully, he does.
Yeah,
Hopefully, he does. He has a nice size, nice wingspan. He's got the skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully he could make it.
He's what's like 7'2", right? 7'2". He's playing in the G League. So I think so. With you saying that, I think it's just a matter of time.
Yes, it's a matter of time. It's a
I think
possibility.
I think he'll make it to the. He might be the first
pure Filipino, right?
Pure Filipino from the Philippines playing in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Well, hopefully, because in the Philippines, basketball is actually our national sports. That's all we play. We don't have like
a national sport
really,
like mango.
Or baseball. Huh?
National sport like mango. That's a national
That's
sport.
all we play, basketball. Like, so
there is a team
sport.
sport.
Fans of basketball.
Yeah, a sport with the ball is all basketball.
Yeah.
Always and forever shall be basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's funny is, Filipinos are not known for being tall, right? With basketball, it helps if you're tall. But yeah, that's our number one, hands down. That's our number one sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of what's leading up to that is, I was just talking to this person. So you guys sure know Alex Cabagnot, right? He plays for the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
Right? He's actually from here. I used to play with him a long time ago. Obviously, he's a lot younger than I am, but he used to play here in the PacRim division.
Mm-hmm.
And his cousin, so him and his cousin started this organization, right? It's called Fil-Am Nation Select. And what they do is they basically run, his cousin's the one that runs it, Coach Chris Lopez, and they basically run like an AAU team, and they train Fil-Ams and try to promote them and get them to the PBA level, but even not at the PBA level, but anywhere. But their focus is the PBA. So they actually invited us. So this is kind of like a teaser, but one of our next shows
for our next episode.
We'll be at their event. It's supposed to be somewhere in it's still to be determined in Orange County, December 21 to 23. But there's gonna be a lot of good Fil-Am players. You guys know Mackie De Hoya, right? Sandera. His son is gonna be there. He's playing for UP. You guys know Ricky Kalimag, right?
Yeah.
He was our MVP when we won the 40 and over for San Beda. His son is also going to be playing for UP, RC Kalimag. And then there's a trifecta, right? Because Kobe Paras, so you guys know Ben Paras, right?
Yeah, of course.
So there's like 3 former San Beda players' sons playing for UP coming here. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it will be like a repeat when UP won their first UAP championship back in was it 87 or 88 with Paras and Magsano and all these Red Cubs, go to UP. Hopefully this time though, with these former UP players. I mean,
former Beda sons, right? Yeah.
You could have been part of that team, Noel.
Sons will give What?
I don't know about that. I shouldn't have told Mike about that hook shot.
That hook shot really stuck here.
Now it's got a myth of its own now.
I have to ask hopefully Benji would be watching. Benji, if you're watching, I hope his story is so true. That hook shot got him into the team.
At least in my mind. That's how I
in your mind. Okay. No, I believe you.
Benji probably doesn't even remember it. What hook shot? That's why he went in.
That's it.
That's why he went in, because he didn't even see it.
He wasn't even watching it.
He's like, what was that?
So, okay, guys. So that's it for today. And
Okay.
I hope you guys probably watching and probably in the LA area or back home in the Philippines. I hope you catch up with us. If you see that subscribe button or that like button, please do so just to, show us some gratitude. But we hope to see you again in our next episode. Again, this is a pilot episode, but hopefully we'll see you again at the locker room studio talk
The
show.
locker room talk show.
And just
The
one more.
locker room studio
Yeah.
talk show.
Well, just one more.
So we don't even know how
So
to say
Yeah, I know.
the name of the show.
it's really a pilot. But just before we go, so we mentioned Fil-Am National Select, but there's also PacRim Sports. I mentioned it earlier. So they used to do basketball, but because with COVID, what they're doing now is a lot of golf tournaments. So he said a lot of like the retired PacRim basketball players are now doing the golf. So they also invited us. So that's also another teaser down the road. We'll be doing basketball and then maybe golf. So you guys better practice on your golf.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of people there who's enjoying that sport.
Yeah, especially with the COVID.
We have
right?
a lot of friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So
All right.
Thanks
for
Mark.
watching, guys.
thank you everybody.
Art.
Thank you Noel. Thank you Art for your time.
thank you.
And then we will see you again.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.